Hey guys, today I wanted to check in with you on one of my all time favorite topics, and that is how to max out your EBT benefits legally, safely, so that you can get the absolute most out of the benefits that you already receive. I have been running low income relief for gosh, what, 12 years now. And over that time, we have found some really incredible things that shockingly, most people who get EBT simply don't know about because the people who run the government offices and give out these benefits don't tell you about them. And so today I'm here to make sure that you know everything that you can do to get the most out of those benefits. So, as we dive in here, I would like to know if there is a trick or a hack or just a best practice that you like to use to get the most out of your benefits. A little later today, we will be having a bit of a Q&A, and I really would like to showcase some of your tips and tricks if you have stuff to add to what we have here. So let's go ahead and dive in. So the first thing I want to talk to you about today is double up food bucks. This is one of my all-time favorite EBT things ever. So if you have SNAP and you shop at certain farmers markets, farm stands, stores, retailers, participating venues, you can get, in some cases, up to twice the amount of food that you pay for. So through Double Up Food Bucks, what happens is they have to opt into the program to offer this. But then you go to one of the participating retailers, and let's say you spend $10 on eligible products. This could be fresh fruits, fresh veggies, sometimes fresh herbs or honey. The rules kind of change depending on where you're shopping. But you spend $10 on those qualifying products, but then you can get another $10 in free products. So you're actually getting a $20 value out of the $10 that you spent. Now, there are a ton of programs like this all across the country. Some of them are called Double Up Food Bucks. That's a pretty well known organization that exists in most states. But even if your state does not have a program that is called a Double Up Food Bucks, a lot of times you'll have one called like Market Match or Farm Fresh. There's tons of different names for these local programs. So, what we've gone ahead and done is we've made a page on our website. You can see that over here in the red. And if you go there, you'll be able to click on your state list and see all of the participating stores and venues in your area that we have found. So that is a great way right off the bat to make sure you're getting the most out of your benefits, because doubling them up is always great, right? Another thing to consider here is to check your household size. This is something that I see people get wrong all the time because when you go in and you apply, a lot of times people will just automatically list everyone who lives in their house. And in a lot of cases, that may be your SNAP household. But strictly speaking, according to the USDA, they have a very strict definition of who should actually count toward your household. And this is important because your SNAP benefits are calculated based on how many people are in your household and how much money they make. So if you're not counting it correctly, you could be counting more income against your benefits than you should. Of course, some people will always count towards your household size, but let's take a look at what the USDA says as far as who should be counting here. So this screenshot that I'm sharing with you now is direct from the USDA website. And they define a SNAP household very specifically. They say that your household should include everyone who lives together and purchases and prepares meals together. So you have to meet all of those criteria. Some people who live together, such as spouses and most children under the age of 22, are included in in the same SNAP household, even if they purchase and prepare meals separately. And then, of course, there's special rules as well if you're over the age of 60 and unable to purchase and prepare your meals separately because of a disability. Now, the way that I see this mess people up is a lot of times they'll go in to apply and they'll try to count maybe their roommates in their household, even though they don't prepare meals together, they don't share food at all. And then sometimes that can result in you getting less than you should in your SNAP allotment. So I always like to bring this up so that we can talk about it because that is a critical mistake that can really, really cost you. And especially if you're over the age of 60 or disabled, it's important to understand all of the different loopholes that SNAP has because there's a lot of great ways to get more from those benefits that a lot of people miss. And we'll talk more about some of those here in just a moment. But before I dive into some of that, I want to get through some of these other slides. So here we go. This is another favorite hack of mine. You can get cash back on your Snap purchases when you shop with a rewarding shopping app like our sponsors Ibotta or Swagbucks. So you may recognize these apps. People love to use them because you scan your receipts and then you can get cash back on some of your purchases if you're using those apps. It also works if you're shopping with EBT though, and I think that's something that a lot of people miss. So you can go, you choose the offers before you shop, you go and you buy those things, you pay with EBT, and then you get extra cash back that you can then use on other essentials like toilet paper that Snap doesn't necessarily cover. A couple of years ago, we had someone pop into the comments on, I think it was on our website, and they said that they had made over $400 this way, and that had helped pay for diapers and other essentials. So this is an awesome resource for people who have SNAP, and it's gotten even better recently because I believe it was in, I think late last year, Ibotta rolled out a special program called Snap Rewards, which is exclusively for people who are shopping with EBT. And this unlocks even more cash back opportunities than normal Ibotta users get to have access to. It is a little tricky to enroll in, though. I've been a little bit disappointed in how complicated they made this. So I just want to break it down for you really quickly here. So if you have Ibotta, and you can download it using the link you see on screen here, but once you download that, you'll want to go to Profile, then Settings, then Preferences, then Snap Rewards to turn it on, and then you have to click Save. After you do that, you have to submit a receipt showing that you paid with EBT. This is how they verify that you're getting those benefits. And this is where it gets really frustrating because the receipt can't be part of a linked loyalty card and it can't have a barcode on it and it can't be from like Walmart because I don't know why they don't allow that. There's a list of grocers here that you can see on screen. Here, let me make that a little bigger for you. Yeah, so if it's from any of these retailers here, they also won't count it. And then once you scan that receipt, you have to go and follow all of the prompts, which usually guide you back through step one here of going through Profile and so forth, and then clicking Save. But if you jump through all of those hoops, then you can get access to those additional cashback offers that can really help you save a lot of money. So wanted to show you guys that. And next here we have report your expenses accurately. And I can't overstate how important this is. I know back when my family was still receiving SNAP, we didn't follow up on this the way that we should. We had rent increases and other things that should have been reflected that probably would have helped us get more in our SNAP allotment, but we just never bothered to follow up on that. I didn't realize how much it mattered when I was at that point in my life. But what I have learned in the time since then is, your SNAP allotment is based on your household income minus a whole bunch of special qualified expenses that they call deductions. So they take those deductions out of your qualifying income to figure out how much you qualify for in benefits. And if you're not updating, say, your rent increase or so on and so forth, it may mean that you're not getting that extra bump that you may be eligible for. So a lot of a lot of the deductions include things like shelter costs. That's a big one because I think for most all of us, housing is probably the single biggest expense that we have. So those shelter costs are huge. You can also count in a lot of cases childcare costs or dependent care costs. Even if your loved one isn't necessarily a child, but they're disabled and they need care during the day so that you can go to work or school, that will often count. Any mandated child support that you're paying, any self-employment costs. And then if you are a senior or a person with a disability, you can usually also count your utilities and your medical expenses. Now, until recently, utilities was something that counted for basically everyone. But as part of that one big bill that passed, we did see that they are now going to limit that standard utility deduction for seniors and people with disabilities going forward. So just bear that in mind. But yeah, accurately reporting your full expenses and then, of course, any drops in income as well can also help you when you're trying to get the most out of those benefits. Okay. Smart shopping techniques. So this goes for everyone, right? Whether you're shopping with SNAP or not. There are a lot of discount and salvage grocers out there that can help you save a lot of money. My favorite store to shop at is Grocery Outlet. They have them in a lot of states, but not all states. But this is basically a grocery liquidator where they take excess food from other stores, things that were maybe damaged or out of date. And by out of date, I don't necessarily mean like past the best by date, but for example, like Easter goes by and then all of that Easter produce or products end up at grocery outlet, because they just sell that stuff and they sell it at a great discount. So I have a list of, I think, over 400 stores like that. Even if you don't have a grocery outlet in your area, we have a list of those on our website where you can see those kinds of deals. Also, using unit pricing is huge, right? I don't know about you guys, but I am obsessive about comparing the unit prices when we go to stores, because that's really how you see if you're getting the best deal. And then I don't know if you've heard about this app. This is not a sponsored pitch. I don't have any sort of relationship with Flip. I just think they're fantastic. If you use the Flip app, it'll compare all of the flyers in your area, all the different grocery store flyers, so that you can compare prices even when things are on sale to see what store is going to help you save the most money without ever having to leave your house. So I tend to live in very rural areas, and so driving to the grocery store, like, I like to know where I'm going before I leave my house, and I like to make those trips really intentional. And Flip really helps with that because you can see where you're going to get the best deal and plan your shopping and your meal planning accordingly. So I highly recommend checking that out. And then, of course, another favorite tip of mine is you can get so much more than groceries with your EBT card, right? That you can get discounts on Amazon Access, which is just Amazon Prime by a different name. You can get that half off. There's a link there on screen. That's our affiliate link. But there's also discounts on Walmart Plus, Instacart Plus, Shipt, Thrive Market. We have found other retailers that offer amazing EBT discounts as well. And then, of course, you can also get admission discounts to over 3,000 museums. And this includes children's museums, zoos, aquariums, botanical gardens, science centers, so much more. And we've put all of those on our website for you. The screenshot that we're sharing here is from the website, and we spend a lot of time updating those posts. You can also get, Lifeline phone service, discounted internet, and so much more. Your EBT card can unlock so many amazing things. And of course, this is another one of those things that I had no idea about when my family got EBT, right? This is all stuff I discovered long after, but we have that list at lowincomerelief.com/EBT. We are updating it constantly. In fact, we recently brought on another team member to help update those posts because there's just constantly new freebies being added for people who get EBT benefits. And I think that that is fantastic. So we try to keep those as updated as possible. So with that, that covers the 7 tricks that I had for you. But now I want to hear from you guys and see how you make the most of those benefits, because I think you guys probably have a lot of great tips here. So I'm just going to pop over here in the chat. All right, Michelle says, Coin Out, Pogo, Receipt Hog, and Fetch also give you points toward cashback even if you use EBT. They've helped pay my electric bill. So this is what I'm talking about. These apps are so amazing for that. I think this is fantastic. I know it's a bit of a headache, right, when you have to scan your receipt and all of that, but the payout can really, really make it worth that. Okay, awesome. So Arlene is saying she gets mileage with her EBT when she goes to doctor's appointments. Community Action has that program. So I'm not entirely sure what program this is. I know you can get help with transportation from Medicaid too, but that is definitely interesting. And oh no, MQ says, I'm not even able to access fresh foods at all anymore, just shippable non-perishables. We have a list on our website and in a different video that talks about different ways to get free food. So if this is an issue with you maybe being homebound or being in a super rural area, there are programs like Lasagna Love that might be able to help you get some extra food. And there's also programs that may be able to help you get some fresher food as well. So definitely go check out that other video. I'll see if I can drag up a link and pin it when I'm off the stream here. Angel says, I love Grocery Outlet. I'm so glad. I love it there too. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, so oh dear. Be careful with Thrive Market. They automatically ship random products if you give them your EBT card. I did not know about that. I will be honest with you. I have no experience with Thrive Market personally. It's just something that I found and added to our list. That is definitely something that is very, very concerning. So be aware of that. Thank you for sharing that video. Does anybody else have any other questions or thoughts? Looks like the chat is slowing down here. I appreciate you all taking the time out of your day to be here with me. I love being able to bring you guys tips and tricks like this. So, Okay, I just saw something pop up. I think it's okay. Here we go. Yes, we discussed the Double Up program first when we came on here because that is awesome. So, when I first discovered the Double Up program, I thought it was exclusively for farmers markets. And while that is true in some areas, I have found that in a lot of places it's expanding to grocery stores as well. In fact, there's at least one state where I think Walmart even participates in it. So, this is becoming a bigger and bigger program. We try to keep the list on our website updated with all of the different retailers that participate in that. Here, let me hop back to that slide. There we go. Yeah. So that red link that you see on screen is going to have all the places we've found that are participating. There's also one state where they don't have double up food bucks, but they have a program that actually triples the value, which is even better. So, like I said before, those programs are known by all different names, and we've done our best. We've called our list Double Up because that's the most recognizable program that offers this service. But there's Market Match and all sorts of other ones as well, and we've tried to include all of those there so that it's just easy and convenient for you to find what you need. Because really, that's what low income relief is about, right? We started this because it was so hard to find that information, and we just want to make it as easy as possible for you to get those resources. So yes, so Nicholas is saying you said EBT discounted internet. Yes. So we have another video on this channel about discounted internet, and there are all sorts of different ISPs out there, including Comcast and AT&T, and yeah, just loads of them that will offer internet for under 20 or sorry, excuse me, $20 a month or less if you qualify for SNAP, or often there's other programs that you can use like SSI or anything like that, that you may be able to get. And that is a tremendous savings because I know internet bills are insane. I live in a pretty rural area, so I actually have to have two different internet connections so that I can do this streaming because it's just, anyway, the quality is bad, but that's okay. Hopefully you guys are seeing and hearing me okay today. But yeah, so you can also go to our website at lowincomerelief.com/internet, and that will pull up the article that we have with all of those different internet discount options as well. So yeah, let's see. It looks like I'm caught up on the chat. So unless anybody has any final thoughts or questions or comments, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for today. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch with me. I love being able to come on here and help you guys out. So if there is anything specific that you would like us to cover in these upcoming videos, we are trying to put out videos more consistently, and hopefully daily. I can't promise that because I have a busy schedule, but hopefully daily. So yeah, so if you have any ideas or questions, feel free to let us know. You can always email us at tips@lowincomerelief.com as well. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, okay. I got two more questions before I sign off here. So Min says, is there any school supplies assistance and discounts that I can get if I'm on SNAP or Medicaid? Oh boy, I love this question. There are a ton of school supplies programs out there, and we do our best to report on those. I know I keep referring people back to our website, and I don't want to sound like I'm just shilling for the website, but that is where we started low income relief, and it's just easier to maintain lists in article form than it is in video form because I can go in and I can update those articles very quickly. So we do have a list of free school supplies programs on the website. I can do a video about that as well. Some Medicaid plans do offer assistance with school supplies, sometimes up to $150 a year. That's very specific. I think we have another video about that on the channel as well. But they are starting to scale back what Medicaid can cover, right? Like we saw a lot of that in the one big bill. They're pulling out some of those programs where Medicaid was paying for car seats or air conditioners, and they're going to be scaling that back. But there are still a ton of charities out there that can help with school supplies. So I'll make sure to get that information out to you guys as well. All right, Fluffy says, I can only use Double Up in the late summer. It has to be local produce. Yes, that is true. And I should have mentioned that. Double Up Food Bucks is intended to help both farmers and SNAP recipients. So their goal is to get you to buy locally grown fruits, veggies, sometimes herbs or honey as well. And so it does have to be locally grown. In some areas, it is available year round. In some areas, it is seasonal to those farmers markets. It just depends on what state you're in, and all of that information is on our website as well. Okay, let's see. Okay, I love it when you guys chat with me. This is so much more fun than just doing the straight videos, I think. Let's see. Sherry says, my local food bank has school supplies and uniforms. And yes, food banks are a tremendous resource that can help out with that in a lot of cases. James says, I'm trying to figure out my SSDI. I've been fighting 7 years. So if you don't already have an attorney, I always recommend having an attorney help you with SSDI. They don't get paid unless you do, so they're very motivated to help you in your case. I do partner with an attorney that can help with this. You can go to lirlinks.com/claims, I think it is, or maybe it's /SSDI, but that'll take you to the one that I work with. But you don't have to work with that one if you don't want to. But if you're fighting that hard, I would definitely recommend trying to connect with an attorney who can help back you up there. Susie says, I need AC in Massachusetts. We just recently put out a video about how to get a free air conditioner this year. The programs are more limited because they've started scaling back those Medicaid options that in years past were really helpful for getting that kind of support. But there are still some options out there for this year. Definitely go check out that other video that we have too. Let's see. Oh, Amanda's got some great questions about Section 8. So the reason I haven't done a video on that is because I am having a hard time finding the accurate information too. And I try really hard not to jump on here with speculation. And I don't want to spread rumors or misinformation ever, right? I like to do the research ahead of time so that I know that I'm bringing you accurate facts. I have heard that Section 8 is going to be pivoting to more of a state-centric thing. That is what I heard. I have not seen any sort of official press release or any sort of official government announcement on how that would work or if it's even happening. There's a lot of things that people just say, right? Like our politicians are just people too. And a lot of times there's things that are said that then are repeated in different blogs and things. So I'm really selective about where I pull that information. As soon as I know anything concrete, I will absolutely get on here and go over it all with you. But for now, I just don't have the hard facts on what's happening with Section 8. So I will continue looking for that. Let's see. Okay. Oh, thank you. I really love this comment. I'm so glad you found the channel. I am a mess. I know that sometimes our streams get kind of rambly, but I definitely care about all of you, and I'm super glad that you're here. Okay, Patrick says, where does EBT money come from? So up until now, the federal government has funded, obviously EBT. Now they're going to be shifting more of that responsibility. It looks like the One Big Beautiful Bill has some provisions that are going to shift more of that onto the states, especially states that have higher rates of payment errors. But that is where that funding comes from. Now, if you're asking specifically about where funding comes from for programs like these EBT discounts that I talk about, because I tell you, I've been doing this for, like I said, 12 years now. And I always get a lot of pushback about the EBT discounts because people don't like the idea of tax dollars being used to pay for zoo admission. And I totally get that. Those are all, as far as I am aware, private decisions that those venues are making to take less admission, right? Because let's be real, somebody on EBT, for example, is not going to be paying $30 to $60 per adult ticket for admission to a zoo or an aquarium or a science center. So if they get you to pay $3 or $5 with an EBT discount, that's still more money than they would have made from your household. So these benefits are not being paid for by tax dollars. As far as I'm aware, this is all just private companies that are like, hey, if we offer a discount for people with EBT, that's still a win. So hopefully that answers that question. Let's see. We've got some questions about when will LIHEAP officially end. The last thing I officially heard was that the LIHEAP funds for the remainder of summer 2025 were released. I have seen a lot of areas announcing that LIHEAP is opening for applications for the fall as well, which I didn't expect to see, but I will be doing a video probably this week, maybe next, on LIHEAP as more of that information comes out. So Lisa says, I finally started using a food bank, and I love this because food banks are great. I'm so glad that you were able to connect with that resource. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So it looks like I'm mostly caught up, and I apologize if I'm missing your comments. I do know that inside the streaming tool that I use, there's a bit of a lag between what's happening in the live chat and what pops up on my screen. So hopefully I'm not missing any of you who are just now typing in your comments, but I am going to go ahead and wrap up for the day. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. I will be back soon, and I will see you then.